When the lights are about to be turned off, you know what you need. Because you gotta somehow make that paper, right?
Right. Show me the money!
You come to the right place for that. Because it's time for Bo Bounce
Show me the money!
to show you the...
Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone, brought to you by Pearl River Resort. Bet $50 at the Vegas-style Golden Moon Casino Sportsbook. Play award-winning Dancing Rabbit Golf Club for $40. Bet 50, play 40 on the property of Pearl River Resort. We welcome in our friend Dave Bartoo, Matrix Analytical. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Bartoo, good morning. How you doing, buddy?
Dude, hey, Golden Moon Casino. Let's not forget the Timeout Lounge. Folks, when you're in there, just remember, when you ask for the Bartoo, that is a shot of everything on the top shelf. So, and then drink it and charge it to Bo Bounce account and leave. That's the way to go.
I love it. Yeah, so I have to tell our listeners this. So when Bartoo and I were up there, it's been too long, but we went to Bartoo played Dancing Rabbit Golf Course and had fun with some of our P1s. And that was great. And I'm so glad he got to do that. And then that night we ate dinner at Philip M's. And we had a great, wonderful dinner. And then on the way back to our rooms, we ran into some more P1s. And Bartoo looked at me and he was like, well, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to the room. He said, all right, I'm going to stay. Well, they ended up shooting fireball. And having a good time. So it was great. And they were feeling, just a little hazy the next morning, but it was all good, right?
Oh, dude, I'm always ready to roll. I've been doing this college football stuff long enough. I can do it with my eyes closed behind some sunglasses, let me tell you, at any time. But no, I think that was the last time I really got too deep in the fireball, but You only live once. It's funny too because I remember I was out in Dancing Rabbit and there's this one par three way out in the back, right? And it's just it's gorgeous looking par three, and of course I come up way short, which is in a creek, swampy area, and out here you just if you kind of see where your ball lands, you go get it, right? And I start walking down there, and one of the guys was like, he's like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, I'm going to go get my ball. He goes, you going to get the ball or a cottonmouth? I'm like, okay, nope, no ball. No.
I'm good.
No.
Yeah, you got to be
And
careful.
I was like, y'all got poisonous stuff around here. Yeah, nope, I'm staying away from that.
But you know that as much as you're in the woods and elk hunt and all the other things you do. So it didn't take you but 1 second to know, hey, I'm good. All right, we got to start with Lane. I mean, is that? Yeah, I mean,
we can go. Let me give you a little sample of my morning already.
Okay.
I mean, this is it has been 24/7, 365. But like this morning, I was up at 3:00 my time because 6:00 the texts start coming in from head coaches and GMs and chief of staff again. Right? Because everybody's like, oh, the head coaching carousel has slowed down. Yeah, they got 10 other guys plus other guys.
Right.
It doesn't stop, right? So, first thing this morning is special teams coordinator report. 17 guys deep, okay? Their entire career profiles, all the numbers, everything. Not 2 or 3 guys like you see on the Twitters and the interwebs, 17 dudes. When a Brett Key says, I'm looking at 36, it's actually more than 36, okay? So these guys go deep in all of these spots unless they got a buddy or somebody they got right away. So all morning on that. At the same time, I was working on my new momentum index for NFL. So I solved it for college football, and it's actually the momentum index is stronger than the turnover margin. Okay, it is, and I tested it all the way back to 2010. I found something that is stronger and more coachable and more complementary football than winning the turnover battle. So everybody that is a football coach at any level, text me after the show. I'll drop my cell number here in a bit. But momentum index is also just literally, as you guys called, I was getting the work done on the NFL. Momentum index in the NFL is stronger than winning the turnover battle in the NFL. Wow. So the data and the numbers that we're dealing with right now, it is absolutely a zoo, and I love it. So we can start and we can go anywhere we want. If I had the time, I could talk for 12 straight hours on coaching carousel, dude. So you just hold my hand and take me down the path that you want your listeners to listen to right now, because I am ready to rip.
Okay, I'd like for you to walk us through Kiffin's coach effect at Ole Miss, and then how you think that will translate at LSU, Bartoo.
Oh, well, you know something. I mean, his coach effect overall, he was positive one game a year, and a lot of people go, "Oh, he's way better than that." Well, you know something. He did a wonderful job at Ole Miss, but he was gifted the gift of a scheduling opportunity window. And we've talked about it on this show once. We've talked about it 100 times. And in the last couple of years have been a wonderful SEC schedule for Ole Miss, one of the easiest profiles out there. He took advantage of it. 10-2, 11-1, or what was it last year? 9-3, 11-1. Yeah, because Brad White beat him at home last year and ruined that season. So, but 11-1 this year, Brad couldn't get him. And so overall, it was positive. It was very positive at Florida Atlantic as well. So this has proven to be portable. Okay, that's one of our, for everybody listening, that's one of our new words. Portable, because inside the numbers, now that we're going deep dive into stuff even further, we are noticing that guys can do great at one place and then not great at the next. So anytime you see somebody hired that was only at one place, even if he did really good, tiny red flag of risk concern, because he hasn't proven it somewhere else. Okay? So with Lane, it is portable. He did it at FAU. He's done it at Ole Miss. So I feel it is highly likely and much more portable at LSU. So I do expect the same results at LSU as I did at Ole Miss, except, as you and I both know, LSU, last 10 years, third most starts in the NFL. The talent at LSU, nothing against y'all at Ole Miss, but the talent at LSU runs way deeper than it's ever been at Oxford. And so I don't blame Lane for jumping the ship because of that opportunity. And he kind of Elwayed this thing, right? 11-1, going out on top. You're going to a infinitely harder schedule, 9 conference games next year. Even if Lane stays, there's going to be a drop back. Now that you got a new head coach, a new DC, a new OC, there's probably going to be a significant drop back, but a lot of that's going to be in part to the new schedule. So I feel Lane, man, he keeps Blaine Baker, right? There's been no change in that, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, total coaching continuity. That defense was top 5 at some point during the season. I don't care what anybody says. With that talent level, Lane is a 4.5, almost 5-star offensive coordinator. You got a 4-star defensive coordinator. You got NFL talent everywhere. LSU is national championship conversation right now.
Bartoo on the Out of Bounds show, brought to you by Pearl River Resort and an ice cold Stella Artois. So, when you would hear people say there's not that much difference between the Ole Miss and LSU job, what was your reaction?
Oh, yeah, sure, right? And there's not much difference between professional baseball and AAA. Come on. There's a huge difference there. There really, really is. Now, on paper, it may not seem like it, right? Okay, for the last 20 years, Ole Miss recruiting usually runs between 14 and 20, and LSU runs between number 3 and number 6. That is a massive gap of talent. Oh, here's actually, right off the top of my head, here is a great way of looking at it, okay? In the SEC in the last 10 years, the program with the 5th most defensive starts in the NFL, do you know that's Mississippi State?
Wow.
Is Mississippi State in the last 10 years. Phenomenal defensive players out of Mississippi State. Phenomenal, right? Which makes the last 2 years all that much more incredibly disappointing, because this has been, even with Dak Prescott, this has been a defense-first program. That's where the elite comes from. So 5th in the SEC. Do you know who's 4th in the SEC in offensive starts? Ole Miss over the last 10 years.
Wow.
4th, right? Mississippi State isn't even close. Now, Mississippi State recruits in the top 25. Ole Miss recruits in the top 20, right? If you take all the starts combined at Mississippi State on defense and all the starts combined at Ole Miss on offense, it's still less than Alabama, Georgia, and LSU all by themselves.
Damn.
Okay? That's how big the talent gap is. On paper, it doesn't look like a lot because number 3 to 15 doesn't feel like it's that big. It also feels like it's a little bit less because Lane has done so well with Pete at Ole Miss relative to LSU. But I'm telling you, if LSU doesn't make a stupid hire, I think LSU came down to 2 stupid hires by Brian Kelly. Okay? Number 1, keeping the defensive coordinator. Okay? That was a bad choice. Not a good defensive coordinator, good unit coach, but not a good history of a good defensive coordinator. Had Denbrock on offense, wasted a Heisman Trophy year. Okay? Then he flips it, gets a new defensive coordinator, Baker, but it takes 2 years to get to elite status, but Denbrock leaves. I'm telling you, Baker and Denbrock, this is a national championship level team this year. It just takes that little bit of a tweak to get the right guys in place. So I think Lane, to his benefit, is he's starting off with the right guys in place, a little bit better than Kelly, but talent-wise, not much different.
Okay. All right. So Dave Bartoo, Matrix Analytical on the Out of Bounds show. And what grade? I mean, you give Lane, LSU an A, right, for getting Lane? Is that fair?
Oh, you know something? Look. It's hard to hand out a grade for, it's so they have the biggest brand with the most talent and SEC money, and they get an A for getting the best available guy.
Okay.
Sure. Why not? Right. I look at it more of risk, right? Every hire is a risk, every hire that I do in my business, every hire that you do. Look, you take a risk on Jackson and it hasn't blown up yet, but you're scared going in every day. Right? It's no different than Lane. You're kind of scared going in every day. What's he going to tweet? He's going to tweet from the boat, on a Sunday at 2 a.m. out in the Gulf. I don't know.
Right.
But so there's inherent risk with it. And so when I look at Lane, everybody focuses on the head coach. And so Lane is a very good risk based on what he's done at his last 2 stops. And then you start adding to it. Okay, who's his defensive coordinator? He gets to keep that whole defensive staff and coaching continuity in place. That's a great risk. Does it mean it's perfect and it won't fail? No, but it's a good calculated risk. So overall, in terms of risk for LSU, it is a very, very good hire.
Bartoo on the Out of Bounds show. Let's go John Summerall from Tulane to Florida.
Okay, so let's look at portable. Okay, John's done it at 2 places. I like that. All right. So, and I think one of the things we can talk about is there's a lot of Florida fans that went, "Oh, Summerall's the same as Napier." Okay, so you can just get on the stupid bus and keep driving because you just can't read or comprehend things very well, right? So one of the first things is John has showed that it's portable. I know it's not at the Power 4 level. Okay. But the thing like with Billy is we didn't know if he was portable or not. And a lot of times you don't get the chance to test that out, but we're not sure if it's going to be portable the way Lane has shown to be portable at his 2 stops. So with John, he did really good at Troy, and it was instant impact, especially on the defensive side. Troy's offense, but it's a defensive head coach. They're usually not as good on the opposite side of the ledger. So with John, you have a very, very good profile at 2 different places. And obviously with Tulane, he inherited a very good program from Willie Fritz, and he maintained it. So we have improved Troy dramatically in 2 years, who was bad going in, and then maintained a good program on the good levels with Tulane after Willie left. So to me, right there, just that alone is a significant upgrade over the risk of a Billy Napier. Now, Billy Napier, we thought was an excellent risk as well. You look at his numbers, everybody has recency bias. You look at the Florida numbers, you go, man, that guy sucked. Man, you look at those 3 years and the player turnover and coaching turnover and everything that went right at LSU. I mean, this guy won 87% of his one-score football games. You know, I mean,
Damn.
it was or something like that. I can't remember there was some number that I can't remember all of them right off the top of my head. You know, as my wife would be standing behind me going, "You can't even remember our anniversary, and you remember this crap." But it was
Amen.
there was a bunch of numbers that Billy had. I was actually looking back on it because I was like, because one of the things we always look at is, okay, where did we miss? Like Chip Kelly, we know where we missed with Chip Kelly. We learned from us saying, well, Chip should be really, really good. And then we saw it and we're like, oh, we never accounted for this and that. And then let's watch that going forward. And then we saw it in Lincoln Riley and said, you know, Lincoln Riley might be a disaster at USC, at least in the beginning, because he looks just like Chip Kelly. And so with Billy, we were looking back and we're like, what was it? And we couldn't put our finger on it because I started going into management numbers and how guys use timeouts. I mean, I started deep diving into this stuff because one of my favorite ADs is like, Dave, can you look into this? And I'm like, well, I've never done that before, but I have the data now. I can. And I couldn't put my finger on it with Billy other than he never proved it somewhere else. He was really good at Louisiana, but we didn't know if it was portable. It's not portable at Gainesville. Learn that one.
No.
You know, so it was.
But Summerall's a good hire.
Summerall is the second best risk available in this cycle.
Wow.
And then you start. Well, I mean, who else was a better risk? I mean, who would you put above John and Lane as a better hiring risk so far?
That's
James
it.
Franklin?
Other than James Franklin, right?
Right, James Franklin. But you see, you look at James's numbers, and I can talk about this a little bit more because I know he's not listening. You know something, when it comes down to game management, close games, there was a regression. And what he did at Vanderbilt, he had it going at Penn State for a while. And I look at the numbers, and I think the pressure of winning and trying to get a national championship started changing the decision process and maybe made it more conservative. I can't put my finger on it, but his game management knocked his grade down quite a bit in the last few years. And so his grade was almost exactly the guy that they hired, Matt Campbell. They literally traded the same guy. Just one recruits at a higher level and the other one manages a game a little bit better, but really the same guy. Wow. So risk-wise, Virginia Tech, I mean, that's a no-brainer, right? I mean,
Heck
if you're
yeah.
an AD and James Franklin drops in your lap, it's like, sweet, I got him without working. Somebody give me a 4-year extension for my awesome work. And so John arguably, maybe you could you'd probably call James Franklin the best risk so far, wouldn't you? I mean, I know the fans love Lane Kiffin, but from a risk standpoint to the athletic director, there's 1 and 1A. But John's right there, you know, and then you got to start looking at the staff that he's building around that.
Okay. Dave Bartoo, Matrix Analytical on the Out of Bounds show. We're talking coaching carousel and all the new hires. We'll go to Arkansas. Ryan Silverfield. He was at Memphis. He went to Arkansas. What do you see here?
Pretty average. I mean, solid head coach that wins to talent. But at Arkansas, I don't think it's going to be good enough, man. Wins at talent in Arkansas forecast for about 4.5 wins a year for the next 4 years. That's what an average head coach will do at Arkansas. The Arkansas schedule, I've already mapped it out. The next 4 years, the single toughest 36-game run in college football is the Arkansas SEC schedule. Just wicked. Now they're all tough. You and I've talked about this once, talked about it 100 times for the last, 8 years. Don't go to 8, don't go to 9. Don't go to 9. It's going to hurt everywhere. And now everybody's realizing, now that Kirby Smart's talking about it, it's like, oh, damn, this is going to hurt. No, it's going to be more than stinging. It's going to be rough for a lot of places. And I think it's going to be rough for Arkansas. But Silverfield, he wins right where you would expect the talent to be. Didn't elevate the recruiting much at Memphis. But that is tough given the current NIL situation. I love his offensive coordinator. I think Cramsey's one of the best underrated guys in the country. Who did he bring in as his DC? I can't remember that one right off the top of my head.
I'm not sure. Jackson, you want to look that up?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'll just go plus or minus 19 wins in the next 4 years. And
Yikes.
and I'm not sure Arkansas fan is going to be able to stomach 4 years of that. But I don't know what else to tell you. What else are you going to do, other than hiring a guy that can really elevate the program? And the guy that elevates Arkansas to 7-8 wins, man, he's going to be gone the first chance he gets to places like LSU.
Right.
So, SEC in terms of expectations, in terms of the expectation to schedule, Arkansas and South Carolina have to be the two toughest jobs in the world. Expectation to schedule, right there with Mississippi State.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, would you say yes or no to that? I mean, I'm putting Mississippi State as another tier because I don't think your fans are as crazy with expectations as a South Carolina because Steve Spurrier won 10 games for 3 years in a row,
Right.
or whatever it was, or Petrino. Arkansas has a banner with a national title on it.
Right.
That's never walking back through the door. Well, it could. If the Waltons and Tysons go, yeah, let's actually put some money towards football. Here's a few $100 million.
Right.
But I don't think that's likely because if it was going to happen, it would have probably already happened.
Yeah. All right. Bartoo on the Out of Bounds show. Alex Golish from South Florida to Auburn. Does that have some sizzle in it? Is it just meh hire? What do we see here?
Okay. Well, let's look at his profile at South Florida. Okay. We got 36 games, right? How many times has he put up and arguably he had number 1, number 2 talent level in his conference?
Oh, yeah. South Florida?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So how many times did he put up a top 50 offense in the last 3 years? Once. Last 12 games. Right? So it took 3 years to get a really good offense going there. But he did get it going. But it took 3 years. The first 2 were rough. Okay? And then defensively, never really got it going, because the focus was on the offensive side. Defense kind of got it going in year 3. So the body of work is 2 bad years. He was 6 games under expectations. Coach effect. 6 games under coach effect expectations in his first 2 years. He was even this year. What he did this year was what the schedule said he should do, right? So when we're talking baseball, wins above replacement, 0. This is what an average head coach should do with South Florida. Now, did he build it up? Yes, he did, okay? But here's the problem with your selection bias when you're looking at this. This is the Steve Sarkisian syndrome of going 0-12 and then Steve taking a top 25 recruiter to 7-5. It looks awesome, but it still underperformed the talent. So while he turned around South Florida, he didn't turn it around that much. They weren't good on offense and defense the first year. They weren't good on offense and defense the second year. He was minus 6 games coach effect in 3 years. Do you know what Sam Pittman's coach effect was at Arkansas for his tenure?
What?
Plus 7 games. Sam Pittman was plus 7 games at Arkansas. Golish was minus 6 at South Florida. You do the math.
Oh, my
right?
God.
Right? So I think with Auburn, this is a tremendously high-risk hire because it's going to probably take, like Silverfield, you're going to have to wait 3 or 4 years. And then you look at the staff, Alex is going to call the plays. I think DJ is going to stick around as a defensive coordinator, but it looks like it replaced everybody beneath him. And so my biggest red flag is you got 2 lions in the cave.
Yeah, you do.
And in nature, 2 lions in the cave, somebody's going to get their butt kicked and kicked out of the cave. It's hard to have 2 lions in the cave. And with DJ there, he's a former head coach. I've seen this.
He wanted the job, obviously.
Yeah, but so it's speaking from experience, and I've seen this happen with a lot of other head coaches that I've worked with.
His first year.
Right. So there's a great example there. Charlie Strong, a linebacker coach. Right. So the only way Charlie was going to be a head coach again, and folks, everybody listen and understand, if a guy was a head coach once, he typically wants it again. You know, if we were sitting down with Will Muschamp, he'd tell you he can go 12-0 with LSU right now. He's learned from everything. He is awesome, right? Tons of experience, and he interviews fantastic. But the difficulty is, like a Charlie Strong, he wants to be a head coach again. So he's a linebacker coach, which means he has to become the defensive coordinator. And if he doesn't become the defensive coordinator, then he doesn't see a path to become a head coach. So, and if he loses the path, now it becomes a problem because attitude-wise, very, very difficult to deal with that. So, you know, whether it's Auburn or anybody else, look around. Watch these places that have multiple dominant male lions in the cave. They are really likely to fall apart if things don't go perfect. That's why I think Auburn has the potential to be really good, but also the potential to really emotionally fall apart if Durkin and Golish can't get along well.
Okay. All right. So,
Ooh, baby.
So Bartoo's on fire. You're listening to Out of Bounds, brought to you by Pearl River Resort. What do you make of South Carolina's new hires, including Kendall Briles and Randy Clement
and Sean Drayton? Yeah, probably the best on paper. Okay, on paper, the best overall offensive upgrade and remake this year.
Damn.
Not really even a question by it. One of the cool things that we were able to put together, because South Carolina's offense fell apart in multiple phases this year, not just one or two, it was multiple ones. And so we put a chart together that had Briles and Drayton and Clement side by side, and to show where their career strengths impacted the overall offense at South Carolina. Because with Briles, so South Carolina took a dip back in all phases. Briles isn't good in everything. He's really good at instant impact. His last three spots, he increased scoring efficiency in the pass game significantly at all three spots. So it's highly portable. So I think Lenora Sellers, from a passing standpoint, should be instant impact there. So there's three areas in the passing game where Briles' career was very, very strong. In two of those three, Clements is also very strong. So they complement each other. But in the run game, Clements is very strong where Briles is weak. Help offset that, and there's two areas in the South Carolina run game that were the weakest, where Drayton is the strongest. So when you look at each of these individually, they're really good hires. They're all 4-star plus guys. But when you look at the synergies of where South Carolina was weakest and where these guys are the strongest, it fits together like pieces of a puzzle. I'm not saying it's going to be successful, but I think the odds go up that it will be because of all these synergistic qualities of their careers.
Damn. Good job by Shane Beamer. Dave Bartoo on the Out of Bounds show, Matrix Analytical. Let's go Kentucky real quick. Will Stein.
Okay. You know, before we go into this, we may want to tell everybody this is for 18 and over, not safe for work. You know, this might be a little ugly when we go here, but yeah, let's go Kentucky, boss.
Okay. How did the Wildcats do with their hire?
Head coach wise, we got no idea, right? How many days has he been a head coach? How many games has he been a head coach? Zero.
Yeah.
We got nothing, right? So anybody that grades Will Stein on Will Stein being a head coach, we'll just laugh at it, right? Because there's no grade there, right? And it goes back to the risk. It is a high risk without a head coach resume. But you look at, and you and I've talked about this 100 times too, is if you're going to bring a non-head coach in, is he elite at something? Is he bringing something elite to the table, right? He's bringing elite offense, right? He's worked with a bunch of different quarterbacks. A lot of people go, well, it was at Oregon with top 5 talent. What most people don't see is he turned around UT San Antonio's offense in 1 year as well. And so his offense is highly portable, and I was excited about it because Kentucky's offense, outside of one anomaly with Liam Cohen and a quarterback, Levens, their offense has stunk, right? I mean, it's just been bad. Awful. You know, and Stoops makes bad hires. I mean, everybody he hired, even Cohen, the background was highly questionable, but he got a little lucky with the talent at quarterback and Cohen's overall ability. But, even after Cohen left, none of the hires on paper were good. They were all subpar guys by the numbers. And then you had Brad White, which was holding up the entire fort there. And so this way, I was like, oh, man, Kentucky, this is going to be so weird for Kentucky fans because Will's going to just, hopefully year one, but maybe year two, this offense should be absolutely, he's not even going to call plays. He's going to let Joe Sloan do it.
Terrible.
I'm like, yeah, okay. Did anybody see what Joe Sloan did the last couple of years in the SEC? That doesn't feel very portable to me. Does it feel very portable to you?
No,
not at all. And then he goes and hires the defensive coordinator from the worst defense in the playoffs. I'm like, yeah. And now Kentucky, their offensive defensive coordinator combination is graded the worst one of 16 in the SEC.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, what else is there to say? Maybe it will be successful because Will is so smart and energetic on the offensive side. But, Texas A&M was 68th in defensive scoring efficiency this year. With Texas A&M talent in a pretty easy SEC schedule, now he's got Kentucky talent trying to run the same defense with all those athletes in that conference. I'm not grading that one out very high. I'm really limiting my expectations on Kentucky, at least in year one or two.
All right, so my takeaway.
Hot garbage.
Bartoo on the Out of Bounds show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. All right, this is crazy. Zach Arnett's back in Starkville as a defensive coordinator. What do you think about that hire by Jeff Levy?
He is. Well, part of it is look at it in the vacuum. Right. I'm not from down there. I'm not close to Starkville, but you can tell me how hot the seat is or not. And something, coaches, when they interview, know how hot the seat is or not.
Sure.
Good example is Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, Brett Pry interviewed two guys, one on offense, one on defense, that have huge ceilings. I mean, high ceiling guys. Okay. He offered one offensive coordinator the job. He turned it down to go be an analyst in the NFL.
Wow.
Why? Because I don't need to go do that for 1 year and have the rug pulled out from underneath me. The defensive coordinator offered him the job. He went and became a defensive coordinator at the G5 level instead. Okay? And I'm telling that story just from a lesson learned when you're looking at – so Jeff was in a situation, right, where – other coaches are going to go, okay, does he have, what's his runway? Does he got a couple of years? Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 3? How much longer does he have? And what it does is it limits head coaches and their ability to attract guys. Now, Zach has a pretty good window in terms of his floor and his ceiling. He has put together some good ceiling defenses. It's a medium-high ceiling. And he's been solid, but the floor is medium-low, and so, what to expect? Well, I think it's better than the last 2 years of defenses outside the top 100 in scoring efficiency.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we can go there. And for the situation, I think the ceiling is really solid. And emotionally, if people liked Zach, very likable guy, in my opinion, and
Agree.
Supported Mississippi State, right? And I mean, through all the Leach stuff and everything, as a State fan, what you think of him as a coordinator, that's fine. As a person, it felt like he was very professional, trying to represent and help Mississippi State while he was there. He wanted to win. He wanted to do well. It was probably the worst possible circumstance you could even imagine for somebody to step in as a head coach. From our standpoint, we don't even count that year against him. It's like a COVID year.
I agree.
Right? I mean, it's just like no. I mean, if somebody hired him as a head coach, you're like, well, what did he do for 1 year at Mississippi State? You shouldn't consider that. That was an impossible situation. right? Just an impossible situation. It'd be like, you taking a day off and asking Jackson to take over and do a better show. Impossible situation. You just can't live up to it. So,
love it.
No, it is. I think as a fan with Mississippi State, somebody recognized. I think there was a lot of fans. I got a lot of texts. I got a lot of DMs last year about, is Jeff going to make a change? And he stuck with it to see if if it could improve. It didn't, and wisely he chose to make a change to try to do something better. So I think there's value in that as well. How it's going to work out? Yeah, I don't know. It's tough with 9-game schedule when you have the bottom third talent in the conference, no matter which program you are.
Dave Bartoo on the Out of Bounds Show. Goodness gracious! All right, best. I know we just went through some of them. Brad White's the defensive coordinator at Florida.
Yeah.
Kendall got hired at South Carolina. Baker's being retained at LSU.
Right. Well, let's look at A&M.
I was going to.
Baby.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. Right. I mean, come on. So they get rid of
promoted from within, baby.
Oh, next man up. You know what I think about that stuff.
Yes, I do.
Especially when you got the money.
Garbage.
Yeah, exactly. When you got the money and brand to not go next man up, man, geez, Bo. I mean, I bet you could sit here for an hour and talk about next man up failures in the SEC. Seriously.
Elko, that's surprise. He's.
Here's the thing. I had one head coach this year. So right now I'm only working on 11 staffing projects right now. Okay. So not a bunch of them. And
that's a lot.
It's enough where my wife's like, I got kicked out of the bedroom like 2 weeks ago. And it's like, you take that 3, 4, 5 o'clock phone calls into
somewhere
another
else.
room.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm in the coaching carousel room now. I'm literally in the coaching carousel room. So next man up.
A&M, baby.
At A&M.
When you got more money than got. All right, for our listeners, this is what Bartoo's saying, and I'm going to let him finish. When you have unlimited resources and funds, kind of like he described with LSU the last few years with Brian Kelly messing around or screwing around. When you have unlimited resources, act like it and go get a dude. Go ahead, Bartoo.
Yeah, and Wiggins, this isn't an indictment of Wiggins. This is in general, right? If you have the money and you have the program to not go next man up, I think you owe it that way. What happens is a lot of head coaches really feel that loyal guys that stick around long enough, they deserve their shot, right? I mean, seriously, they really so Wiggins Wiggins is one of the best unit coaches in college football and has been, and it's portable. And he's wonderful at everything he does. He is really good for college football, and he's really good at what he does. And he has never called a play in his life. And the toughest thing is he is replacing Colin Klein, who just produced the single best scoring efficiency offense for Texas A&M this century. That's what you're replacing. You are replacing the best guy to do it at your school with no experience. Best guy to do it in 25 years.
That doesn't make any sense. I mean, you're that you're already in the college football playoff, which means you're knocking on the door. I think this is where Bartoo is going. You have Elko, who's proven at Duke and A&M that he's trending in the right way. He's already been a hell of a defensive coordinator, play caller. You're A&M, so you get players. You trip over players. Top probably 12 recruiter. I think Bartoo's like, why, if you're already this close and you're in it, you're playing Saturday morning and you could win and advance to the quarterfinals, why the hell would you do this? That's what I'm thinking you're thinking.
Well, I'm looking at it more long term. I think Colin Klein's calling plays.
Yeah. During the playoffs, I'm just talking about going forward for A&M after he leaves.
Long term, and so I think it's difficult to replace that guy.
Sure.
And I just think situationally, you've built up so much momentum in the program. It's just a tremendous risk, is what it is.
That you didn't have to take.
No, you didn't, and I think it was more a loyalty. I got to give this guy his shot. No, it's real though, buddy.
I know.
It really is real. I mean, I've had lots of head coaches. I mean, just this
Oh,
month
you've told
alone,
me off the record the last 8 years. It's just nonstop how many of them want to hire somebody who's been with them or a friend, and you're like, no, with these P4 teams that have money, go get the best you can get is what you bang the drum, right?
Yeah. You know, I mean,
because these games go down to it's almost turned into the NFL, Bartoo. We talked about this, you and I did. You know, the NFL, like every game's 3, 5, 7 points, and now this watered down thing. Hell, coaching always mattered, but I feel like it matters even more with the watered down of college football today, Bartoo.
Yeah, not quite.
Okay,
not quite. Games have gotten a little bit closer. And it's not because it's more NFL-like. One of the reasons is the time clock. It's taken a half a possession per team away. So on average, there is one less drive in college football.
Okay, fair enough.
Per game. Okay. So that tightens it up a little bit. Okay. But ultimately, when you look at 8 block minutes of college football versus the NFL, okay, everybody talked about that stupid middle 8. You know, the last 4 minutes of the end of the second, right? It's like, so you're trying to tell me that those are the most important 8 minutes in a 60-minute game? Okay, in 2024, there's 11 blocks, right? First 8 of the first, last 8 of the first, middle of first and second. Okay, there's 11 blocks in college football. That middle 8 in college football was the least valuable 8-minute block in college football in 2024. In the last 10 years, it is the third least valuable block. Now, in the NFL, it's the 5th most valuable block. So, like, if you're a college or a high school coach or middle school coach, listening to NFL guys talk about their numbers and their analytics, I can guarantee you are 100% doing it wrong, because none of that stuff applies to you on any level whatsoever. It is a completely different monster at the NFL level.
Okay. All right, Bartoo on the Out of Bounds show. So, A&M promotes from within. Could work out, but lots of risk is what Bartoo's saying.
Yeah, it's just it's a lot of risk, especially how hard you work to get where you're at going into, and it's a tough guy to follow up. And then we have a question of who's going to be the next defensive coordinator at A&M too, and how well does the offensive philosophy of Wiggins compare to that guy? And so I just, it's interesting where that one is headed.
All right. Jackson, Bartoo, let's see, what else we hit Franklin outside of the conference. Oh, did I?
Yeah, Nebraska had a great defensive upgrade.
Okay.
Personal bias aside, brought in a new defensive coordinator that has a very, very high ceiling.
What's his name? I don't even know.
Rob Arch. He was out of San Diego State. He had the 3rd best overall defensive coordinator grade this year.
Damn. Hello.
Exactly. But risk side doesn't have a ton of experience, but it's portable. He has impacted 2 separate programs immediately year one. And so that's really good. And they also stole Jeep Wade from Georgia Tech, top 10 offensive line graded coach. Got him from Georgia Tech, bringing in one of the best defensive line coaches in all of college football, possibly Elijah Robinson. So Nebraska is probably top 5 that kept their head coach and has fully upgraded their staff this year.
Okay, this is where I want to go. Do you have another minute?
Oh, yeah, let's roll.
Okay. All right. South Florida hires Brian Hartline from Ohio State, who had been an OC for like 1 year when Chip Kelly left for Vegas, as you know, because I know you've got connections with Chip. And before that, he was a wide receivers coach at Ohio State. How do you measure or where do you go with that hire, Bartoo?
I think you know my answer, right? Right? I mean, is it any different than Will Stein? No experience.
Right.
At head coach. Right? So has he made an offense or defensive coordinator hire yet? I don't know. Right? One of the things to look at is he hiring his buddies? Now, for everybody listening, there's different levels of buddy hires. There's one thing to hire your buddy if he's proven to be good at something before.
Right.
Okay? That's different. Okay? The worst buddy hire is hiring a buddy that has proven to be not so good before. Okay? That's just myopic and dumb, right? And then there's the buddy hire who's never proven anything and has zero experience. I think that's less of a risk than the guy who's proven to be bad. So you got 3 different levels of buddy hire. So when I'm looking at Brian Hartline, same thing as I'm looking at Jamarcus Russell, or not at Jamarcus Russell, Shepard here at Oregon State. Got LSU on the brain. He brings in Lance Guidry. Excellent risk at defensive coordinator. Hires his buddy from Washington, who's never called plays before, to be the offensive coordinator. You can imagine what I think about those two hires. So with Brian Hartline, this is, this goes back to, you see people going, oh, that's a home run hire. 2 things. Number 1, there's no such thing. Okay? There's great risks, but I don't really feel there is a home run hire out there that is guaranteed to work. Okay? And then the other thing is grading a guy that has no experience, that hasn't filled out his staff yet, is just dumb. Right. It's just, and I get it. It's filling content and space, and we got to fill it with college football 24/7, 365. But I think that is very, very difficult to ascertain what direction this is going until we really have the big picture of what he's putting together.
Holy smokes! This is where I was going. I can't remember if you answered this because I've already drank 14 beers. Best coordinator hire in the SEC, whether it's retaining Baker, grabbing Brad White at Florida, Kendall Browse at South Carolina. Who I could be missing someone.
Well, let me go through. Let's see here. We're going to changes there. Retaining Baker is really good.
Okay.
Retaining Durkin, but I think, did they get rid of all of his defensive support staff?
They may have.
Yeah, no, not a fan.
Okay.
Baker or Brad White is really good. His ceiling is extraordinarily high.
Okay.
I love that one. Kentucky, no. Bryles is solid. This is the one. There was a lot of tight sports pants in Knoxville when Jim Knowles was announced.
Oh yeah, talk to me about that.
The new defensive coordinator.
Because you told us it takes him 2 years to get everything implemented. Go with that, Bartoo.
Right. He is very complex defense, and he has not been good without elite talent. Okay, at Oklahoma State, everybody goes, oh, he had an elite defense one year. Yeah, it took 5 years, and he had 8 six-year COVID seniors on that team in the Big 12.
Wow.
Okay, he went to Ohio State. The day Ohio State hired him, what did I tweet? I got the receipts. I said, don't expect this to be national championship level until 2024.
And they won it.
Okay, and that's when they won the championship last year, right? And Penn State, that was not a very good defense. That is not what he took over. It was a big step back in a lot of areas. So Tennessee, if you're willing to wait 3 to 4 years for him to get elite, that's cool. But understand it's very complex, and he has a history of a very long runway to get it going. So I like the risk, but understand it comes with some patience. He is not the instant impact guy on paper that I believe a lot of people think he is.
Okay. Bartoo on the Out of Bounds show and the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. This is 105.9 The Zone ESPN. He said Knowles, and I thought about, so Brad White, love him. Like a lot about Kendall. You already like Clayton White. He's being retained. Oh, all right. You may not give a name, and that's cool because you have your list that you give to ADs and GMs.
Yeah.
Do you have you were the first one. We have listeners that will talk about how, hey, Bartoo talked about Jeff Brom 7 years ago or whatever. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So is there a guy, Bartoo, this year that you'll share a name that you're like, how the hell did he not get a better job, whether that's head coaching or OC or DC? Some guy you and Adam have been monitoring. You're like, dude, this guy just continues to produce at a high level or a really high level, Bartoo?
Yeah, well, I mentioned him earlier, Tim Cramsey at Arkansas.
Okay.
I'm surprised people haven't grabbed him. He's kept that whole thing afloat. Defense has not been good in Memphis overall, and the offense there has been very, very good in spite of churning through a lot of players and quarterbacks. On the defensive side, there's a bunch of guys that we have looked at. I'm trying to think of somebody that
I like it
really
when you give us, it's just been fun over the years. You've brought up someone, and then like 2, 4, 5 years later, they continue to get better, and then they become,
they blow up. Like 3 years ago when I said Jason X going to be awesome, and this year at the beginning of the season I said that's the easiest over in college football.
Yes,
is New Mexico 3.5. So Eck, I mean, we've been on him for years. Trying to think of some defensive guys, though. Actually, in the SEC, is there anybody who's the most undervalued guy in the SEC?
Probably Clayton White or Brad, because they played with crappy offenses for so long.
Yeah, I still go back to I still don't think Pete Kwiatkowski gets the credit for being one of the greatest defensive minds of the last 10 years.
And the Texas, you mentioned this in mid-October, the Texas Longhorns offense with Sark continues to regress, right?
Yeah, it's 3 straight years of scoring efficiency regression.
That's not good.
No, the defense has held this whole thing up, so it's fortunate he has Pete Kwiatkowski. I really thought Pete was good enough to overcome Steve's head coaching. And I've been wrong so far, because Steve's grade is mid-50s nationally, just underperforms the talent in all but 1 year as a head coach. So, whether the talent or one other coach has to overcome it, I'm not sure when and if that's going to happen. But what do you replace him with that is better? That's a better risk. That's better odds. So,
I know what I wanted to do. All right, Let's switch. Oklahoma. This has surprised me. They went 10-2, and they're in the playoff, and they're hosting Bama on Friday night. I hope it's a hell of a game. And I'm sipping on.
So bad to watch. So bad.
Oh, 6-3? Is it?
What do you think? 6-3.
Well, Mateer, both offense. So Alabama can't run the football. Mateer hasn't been able to throw the football. This is crazy. I don't.
Oh, dude, Oklahoma's the worst scoring efficiency offense in the playoffs. It's terrible.
Wow.
It's terrible. And what did we say on the show? Pass first doesn't work in the SEC.
So you said when Venables hired this dude from Washington State, you said, some of the numbers are good, but you have to run and you're damn right you did. Look what Lane Kiffin did, among others. And Kirby still wants to commit to it. You have to be able to run the damn football in this league, Bartoo.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You can't be up tempo and pass first, John David Baker. I think it's really, really hard to do it in the SEC, and it's been proven for many years now. And Arbuckle, look, I love the guy. He's a rising star in the system, but where he went in Oklahoma and what they were asking him to do, it looked just like Seth Luttrell. They were asking him to do the same thing. John Mateer is probably much better of a quarterback than he looks like, but he doesn't have a run game to complement it.
Right.
And so Oklahoma keeps beating its head against the wall, trying to be a pass-first team in the most athletic defensive back conference in the country. And it's just not – I mean, they're 88th in offensive scoring efficiency. They're not good. They're number 4 in defense. And like you said, Alabama managed 7 points on a indoor facility with they had a warming blanket on the damn field probably. It was just perfect environment. And they scored 7 points. They're about to go into a hellhole in Norman this weekend. It's going to be like 19, and the wind's going to be blowing sideways. This is a Beamer special, dude. 0-0 overtime is what I'm rooting for. So I do like Oklahoma. Yeah, I do like Oklahoma winning that game because they have the best unit on the field, the defense.
Okay.
They have home field, and like you said, advanced metrics. You break it down, they have no running game, and they're going to be in a situation where they have to be able to run the football. I don't think they're going to be able to do it. I'm biased, but I think my biggest upset alert is going to be Miami at Texas A&M. That Texas A&M defense is the worst unit on the field, albeit the best unit on the field is the A&M offense. So I think there's going to be really good balance there. But I am super biased because, well, I gave A&M an entire breakdown of everything Colin Klein has done and all of his tendencies for the entire season at home. So I'm a Cane fan this weekend by bias.
Okay, fair enough. All right, who do you have as the best offensive defensive scoring efficiency? Is it Ohio State? Is it
the top three,
Indiana?
Right? The top three. So for 26 straight years or 25 straight years going into this season, end of season, top three in offense or defense, that's where the national championship lives, right? Every single team that has won the title has been top three in regular season offense and or defensive scoring efficiency. Nobody lives in both anymore. It's not like Alabama 2000 whatever 11, where they were number one in offense and in defense. Offensively, it was Vanderbilt, USC, and Notre Dame. I believe that was no. Vanderbilt, Indiana was number two. Vanderbilt was number one. Notre Dame was number three.
Okay.
So Notre Dame, they had the talent profile. They got booted out. Vanderbilt didn't make it. So the only offensive national championship team is Indiana.
Damn.
And on the defensive side, top three, Ohio State, Texas Tech is number three. Ohio State's number one. I'm trying to remember who number two was off the top of my head. I don't even think they're in the playoffs.
Okay.
Oklahoma's number four overall.
Damn.
But number four's never won it, offense or defense. So to me, I'm looking at, I think Oregon maybe moved into the top three. But to me, it's Ohio State, Indiana, Texas Tech. Those are the teams with the three best units that are out there. You throw out recruiting under the top 10, so Indiana and Texas Tech is out. So by the numbers, Ohio State repeats.
I want to go back to Pete Golding's first hire as offensive coordinator.
Yep.
You hit on it briefly, but what do you think about John David Baker in the SEC as an offensive coordinator?
You wouldn't just let me sneak it in there and let it lie, would you?
No, hell no. Well, I need you to do you don't have to do 5 minutes, but I'd like a minute or two.
Look, I've done 14, 15 offensive coordinator searches. That guy's name has come up every single time. His agent did an awesome job of marketing him. And when you look at seriously. And when you look at the numbers, you go, wow, on average, this guy is really, really good. And I will give him credit. His first year at ECU, he turned things around immediately. It was really good across the board. And part of it was a really good scheme. I think part of it, people weren't ready for it. But it's a very pass-oriented, high-up-pace offense. In 2025, he tried to go even faster to the point where he was top three in pace of play in 2025. His explosiveness adjusted for schedule dropped to 134. So it was high pace. It was high pace with no explosiveness, and all of his metrics dropped off significantly. So, but he was still above average this year. Okay, so when you look at him on paper, you go, wow, he had an explosive year one. Yeah, he took a step back year two, but it wasn't a huge catastrophic step back. And if you look at the 2 years combined, you go, wow, that looks great. But what did we just talk about? Pass first hasn't proven to work really good in the SEC, right? So this is a pass first offense, and more specifically, this is extraordinarily high pace. High pace does not work in the SEC. And if you have lesser talent, the one thing you don't want to do is force your defense to have more snaps. Pete Golding has worked in an environment where he's averaged 63.9 snaps per game on his defense. John David Baker at ECU pushed 76.7 snaps per game on the defense. That's almost 2 extra drives per game. So on paper, you go, wow, these numbers look really good. But when you look at the pairing of Golding's experience and what Baker does relative to the SEC, it is very difficult to say this isn't high risk relative to the environment he was at with East Carolina.
Damn. All right. New offensive coordinator, John David Baker, is okay. All right.
Right? I mean, he's a rising star kind of guy. We only have 2 years, so we really can't fully grade him. But the flag is everybody can look at the positive. That's what everybody talks about, the positive.
Sure they do.
We got to talk about the downside, right? The downside is pace of play, adjusting with the defensive coordinator in the SEC. I really think it could be successful. Sure, everything can be successful, right? And it might take some time. I just think the risk in year one at Ole Miss is much higher than it looks like on paper because of all of these factors that nobody's really talking about until we just did.
All right, describe, walk us through, Pete Gold, you go from Lane Kiffin, who's got 15 years head coaching experience under him, averaging +1 coach effect per year. He beats who he should, which is a big, big deal. And he's a hell of a play caller on the offensive side of the football, to Pete Golding, who's never done it. I know you can't really assess it or grade it, but you just say it's just major risk, right?
Yeah, it is what it is, right? Now Pete has earned it from the standpoint of his defense is portable.
Sure.
He's rolled out a great defense at Alabama. He's rolled out a great defense at Ole Miss. He's done a very, very good job at 2 places. So at the very least, the Ole Miss defense should be very good. That's one of the reasons you hired him, is to not worry about the defensive side. Okay. So that's where the offense pairing provides risk on the defensive side. These aren't complementary. What Pete's used to and what John David does is not complementary. They're not used to working in that environment. Now, as far as a head coach, well, I'm not going to get into any specifics yet, because at the beginning of next year, what we'll do is we'll talk about things to look for in September, because I figured out 2 specific coaching behaviors that are against the grain. What to look for in terms of how they use timeouts and penalties in terms of how a team is being managed. There's 2 specific things we will talk about. We're going to put a pin in this and tease everybody till August. But come September, there's 2 things that I want everybody to watch, not just Pete Golding, but all their coaches, in terms of what they are doing with timeouts and flags. It will actually give you a window into the ability of this team to be good or fail by the end of September.
All right. We'll leave it there. I think we just went an hour. I think we crushed it. He crushed it. Dave Bartoo, Matrix Analytical. That was fun. Coaching carousel, head coaches, coordinators. Oh my gosh. Good hires.
Well, can I toot about me? I got 2 things to
yes.
2 things to talk about over here. One of them, we spent all year, but we got NCAA approval on our early player identification program. We are now NCAA compliant as the only advanced analytics scouting program in the country. And we recently partnered with the Garnett Trust in South Carolina. They are subsidizing all scoring in the state of South Carolina for every athlete above the age of 8 that wants to get tested. And what it will do is it will identify foundational athleticism, which is genetic. We've proven it at the NFL level. We've proven it at the college level. We've proven it at the high school level. This will allow programs in the country, whether it's South Carolina or Mississippi State or anybody else, to identify players way in advance of camps and film. Do they simply have the foundational athleticism and growth chart to even make the roster? So it makes player identification incredibly more efficient, and we couldn't be more excited about it, especially with our NCAA compliance being approved.
Dude, that's exciting. Congratulations.
Yes.
That's great.
Thank you.
All right. Dan Mullen, I guess we can hit that next time, what he did at UNLV. And
yeah. We can do other coaches, other carousels, other non-SEC stuff, you know. Oh, I got a nugget for you. I'll call the ball on this one right now. Okay.
Oregon's Michigan. But anyway,
Oregon's we'll see how that plays out.
Okay.
There's too many questions hanging in the air on that one.
Okay.
I mean, if I'm the president of Michigan, I take over this thing, tell blah 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 blah, and I go get an experienced guy. I try to get Whittingham, Brian Kelly, or Lincoln Riley. Those are my guys.
Okay.
But anyways, but there's too much hanging in the air on that one. Oregon lost their offense and defensive coordinator. Now, they promoted from within, next man up on defense. Guy named Hampton. In your area, you may know him. He produced a top 25 scoring efficiency defense in his last year at Tulane.
Oh.
So solid, young coach that has proven it. We don't know if it's portable, but we know Dan Lanning has maybe put up a good defense or two, so I think he's going to be okay there. But the other one, his other promote from within, their tight ends coach, Mehringer, okay? Everybody's like, ooh, Dante Moore loves this guy. We need to promote from within to keep Dante Moore. Mehringer has 1 year of calling plays. It was at Rutgers, and it was an unmitigated disaster. I mean, you could not, on paper, okay, I trust Dan Lanning from his hiring standpoint because everything's worked out golden for him. Everything, right? This one is as high a risk as you could possibly get. 1 year of play calling experience in the Big Ten, and everything at Rutgers fell backward. Everything except field position. The offense had actually remarkably better field position and was still worse in every category. So if there's one, you were asking for the nugget of good. Here's the nugget of bad that I am looking for. Watch for the Oregon offense to see if it progresses or regresses. I am 100% betting on it to fade losing Will Stein, not because this guy isn't as good as Will Stein. He has proven to be having a really, really low floor.
That was beautiful.
Wow, what am I drinking?
Okay. All right. So, holy smokes, we crushed the coaching carousel hit with Dave Bartoo, Matrix Analytical on the Out of Bounds show. Bartoo, that was beautiful. We appreciate it, and we want to do it again soon.
Happy holidays to everybody, and I hope I'm wrong when I say your coaches aren't elite.
Triple eggnog with Elijah Craig for Bartoo this afternoon. Be good, buddy.
Take it easy, man. Thank you.
Dave Bartoo, Matrix Analytical on the Out of Bounds show, just absolutely hit a grand slam with our coaching carousel update from the SEC and all around the country. Show brought to you by Pearl River Resort and the Golden Moon Casino, Vegas-style sportsbook.